TC, Spiritual Shepherd. Welcome back, guys. Today we are going to be getting into the 7 virtues. The 7 virtues of Bushido. It is 11:11 right now. I started this live at 11:11. So first and foremost, we are going to be getting into the 7 virtues of Bushido. And I'm going to keep these actually relatively quick. So the way that I upload these is generally in a respect type of manner for the individual watching, the audience. So let's just jump straight into this. This is the 7 virtues of Bushido. Okay, so I'm going to read them in, I believe it's Japanese. So I'm going to read, they might be in Chinese. Let me just double check. But ultimately, I'm going to read them in Japanese or Chinese, and then I'm going to read it in English, okay? So it's Gi, it's Rei, it's Yu, it's Mayo, it's Jin, it's Makoto, and then I think the last one is Gucci. Okay, so something like that. Now, ultimately, this means integrity, respect, heroic courage, bravery, okay, honor, compassion, honesty and sincerity, duty and loyalty. So these are the 7 virtues of Bushido. I'm going to get into each one of them very briefly and kind of speak on my own type of thing with this. But ultimately, guys, Gi. What do you wear when you go into martial arts? You wear a gi, okay? Gi is a sign of integrity. Being acutely honest throughout your dealings with all people. Believing in justice not from other people, but from yourself, with the capital S. To the true warrior, the true authentic being. All points of view are deeply considered regarding honesty, justice, and integrity. So this is the highest, I would say, regard is integrity, showing up with integrity, okay? Now, the highest virtue of them all is honor, okay? We'll get into it. Number 2, Rei, or respect, okay? So the first one was Gi and integrity. This one is Rei and respect. It's the same thing. True warriors have no reason to be cruel. They do not do things that prove their strength. Warriors are courteous even to enemies or to their enemies. Warriors are not only respected for their strengths in battle, but also with their dealings and strengths with others. So this is a big cultivation, guys. A big cultivation. Respect. Self-respect governs others' respect. Let me say this again. Self-respect governs others' respect. Say external respect comes from inner respect. Remember, it all starts internally. You guys know me, okay? Everything starts internally, okay? Before you can get integrity from somebody else, before you can get trustworthiness from someone else, you must be trustworthy of yourself and cultivate trustworthiness within yourself. Number 3, Yu, also known as heroic courage. So you guys know that I'm known for this because I made it myself. But ultimately, it's altruistic, idealistic heroicism. Okay, altruistic, idealistic heroicism. What does this mean? It means that you have a set of ideals. Okay, altruistic means that you do all for the good just because it's good, on purpose, just to do it, by choice, because it's good, for an ideal, okay? And then being a hero for that mission, okay? Excuse me. So, ultimately, heroic courage, or you, hiding like a turtle, retreating to your shell, is not living at all. Wow. A true warrior must have heroic courage. It is absolutely risky. It is living life completely, fully, and wonderfully despite, oh my goodness, despite shame. Despite going against like the like shame and blame and guilt and all this type of stuff where cowardice is a very shameful thing. Courage, cowardice, okay? Mayo, which is honor. Okay, honor. Like I said, the highest virtue is honor, to be honored. Not even just to be honored by others, but you honor yourself. And that's what, like I said, internally first, you first must honor yourself. Do you show up for yourself in advance? Do you pay yourself in advance? Do you care for yourself in advance? Do you love yourself in advance? Okay, or is it always like the back end aspect of it? Okay, so Mayo, honor. Warriors have only one judge of honor and character, and this is themselves, like I just said. Decisions they make and how these decisions are carried out is the reflection of whom they truly are. So, how they actually move through their day and how they carry out everything that they do is showing you a reflection of who they are. I believe that there was this like Frederick Nishkish, I forget I don't know his last name, but he's a psychologist, and he said, by people showing you what they do, by people telling you how they speak, by people acting how they act, they are also giving you character. They're telling you what their character is. It's not that you always have characters or you always have masks. You have different versions of yourself, okay? And those versions are aligned to the being, okay? And the being is ultimately who you are. Okay, now number 5, Jin, compassion. Through intense training, through hard work, the true warrior becomes quick and strong. They are not as most people. They develop a power that must be used for good. So we don't do what we can do. We do what we must do. We do what we have to. Okay, not just because we want to or we need to. We do it because we need to. We do it because we must do it. They have compassion. Okay? They do it because they do it for good. They help their fellow man in every opportunity, at every opportunity. Fantastic. Okay, now Makoto, honesty and sincerity. Okay, so when warriors say when warriors say that they will perform an action, it is as good as done. Meaning that when they say it, they do it, and they're honest. Okay, that is also aligned with integrity. Integrity is honesty in action. Saying what you're going to do, doing what you're going to say, regardless of who's around, who's not around, okay? Because you're always with you. They do not have to give into the... They do not have to promise. They do not have to give their words. That is so great. Showing up honest. It's not always about telling people, oh, I promise this, or oh, I'm going to do this, or whatever. Honesty is even beyond that, where it's showing you in these virtues, as I get into all of these virtues, which I'll list after this, but ultimately, this whole honesty and sincerity thing is being sincere with yourself, being honest with yourself. Yes, you will mess up. Sometimes you will say, oh, I will do this, and you won't. But the less time that happens, the more integrated you are. And by also consciously aligning to be like, I'm going to try to make that, I'm going to literally not miss. You will miss less, literally. Okay? And now we are going to get into Chugi, which is duty and loyalty. Warriors are responsible for everything that they have ever done and everything that they have said, everything that they will do and everything that they will say, and all consequences that follow. They are immensely loyal to all of those in their care. That is fantastic. So, duty and loyalty to people, meaning that we are responsible for everything that we've done, okay? Also, it's by what we do that we are recognized by our character. So kind of imagine this, that when you do something, you are a character, okay? And that character people are loyal to, okay? And so by being the best character, by being an altruistic, let me say it again, by being an altruistic, idealistic hero for people and for yourself, and showing up as that being for people, people can also reside into you. They can literally reside. They can fall into that frame and depend on you. You can be dependent as a loyal person. Like, people can depend on you, as well as you have a duty to the world, because keeping that altruistic, heroic idealism is a very powerful thing that is your duty. So, like, it's not like I always want to get on these things and do all of these videos and go to the gym and do all this stuff. I want to sleep in just as much as you do. I want to eat cupcakes and cheesecake as much as you guys do. But do I really know that that's good for me? I know that that's not good for me. So I cultivate going the opposite of that. I do the opposite of that. So that is the 7 virtues of Bushido. We're going to continuously get into this. Like I said, they're right here. Okay. So Gi, integrity. Okay. Rei, respect. Yu, heroic, courage. Mayo, or Mayo, which is honor. Jin, which is compassion. Makato, which is honesty and sincerity, and Chugi, which is duty and loyalty. And by cultivating these things, this is going to help you be more of a virtuous person, okay? And I'm obviously going to go into a lot of these different ones too, so I'm going to go into the true gray Jedi code. I like to have fun with some of these, but I also take in the real genuinity of it, the ingenuity of it, the way of the ninja, how to live is the way of the ninja, the 9 noble virtues of a Viking, okay? The 48 laws of power, you guys have probably heard that one. The Viking code, Dokido. So this is the samurai, the lone wolf samurai. It was the guy, he wrote it like a week before his death, and it's a very powerful code. Spartan law. Spartan law. Okay, so we're going to get into all of that type of stuff. So like no retreat, no surrender. What does that really mean? You know, stuff like that. Book of 5 Rings, which is also a samurai book, which is very much interconnected with short sword, long sword, spear, like all this type of stuff. And then it's also teaching you strategy, which is what leading into the next one, which is the art of war, which is the strategy of war, the art of war. Okay, and then we're also going to get into the 13 virtues of Benjamin Franklin. We're going to get into the sacred 7. So stay tuned to a lot of these different things. I'm going to be doing a lot of this stuff this week, but I'm also going to be doing a bunch of stuff that has to do with like 7 and 9 and 5 and all this type of stuff that is really going to help people, you know, draw up their own virtuous code for themselves. So we're going to get into the next one, but that is ultimately the conclusion. Everything's in the description. If you guys need anything, let me know. Peace.